Karel from Roots Ireland. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks very much.
No, you're lying through your teeth because it's the end of the third day and you're absolutely shattered. Right, tell me a wee bit about Roots Ireland.
Okay, well, Roots Ireland is the name of the website that contains the records of the county genealogy centres on the island of Ireland.
Right.
We would have 29 counties on our site, represented on our site. So we don't have everything, but we're working towards having all the counties represented.
Yeah, we're talking north and south.
North and south, yes. And all of those counties would have substantial records completed and indexed, but they're still working on records. So this site is an ongoing process,
right.
And we will be continually adding records to it and improving the quality of the records. So if we have errors or omissions, we will try to improve those, and more new records coming on board. The main body of records that we have are the Catholic parish records, which is the biggest record collection in the country. And then we have various other denominations. The Church of Ireland will be our next largest amount, and then we would have Presbyterian, Methodist, bits and pieces of other records. We would have the 1901 census, but that's been superseded slightly now by the archives.
Sure.
We would have Griffith's valuation, and we have some gravestone inscriptions as well, and that's something we will be adding more of as well.
And you also have some kind of fragments of earlier censuses.
We do, yeah. There's oddities in Ireland. In each county, there's different things available.
Aye.
So that's another thing that we're looking at doing now, is we've put up the births, deaths, marriages, census Griffiths. It's now getting into the bitty little sources that each county has, voters lists, graveyard records, newspaper indexes of obituaries, things that various people have done. So that's the next step.
Right. It's probably worth explaining that the records per county, it's not like you've done all the Catholic records for every county. It's like each county has its own project. So it's not quite the same records per county, is it?
No, it's not. And also it's what's available.
Aye.
So there isn't a standardised record recording in each county. You have two counties side by side with totally different availability of records.
But the site is good for telling you.
Yeah, we will list what we have. We'll list any gaps in the records as well. Some of these registers are copied registers, so some of the original material may be lost, they're incomplete. Irish Catholic records especially, you can have one parish, two parishes right beside each other. One dates from 1850 and one could be from 1750.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. But what we would always say to people is, you never look at records in isolation. You need to be flexible in Ireland.
Yeah.
And even though you might not find the baptism or their marriage, you may be able to place your ancestor's surname in a location at a particular time through sponsors, witnesses, that sort of thing. And that's good. I mean, they still appear in a record.
Yeah.
So
but there could be a bit more legwork involved in Ireland, but that can actually be just as much fun, really.
Yeah. And I think if you're coming to Ireland to do research, you should make contact with people in the locality, whether it's the local genealogy service, the county library, and you will get good tips and good information about what's available and what maybe the pitfalls, what you're not going to find. You can save yourself a lot of time not looking, don't look for things that are not there.
Sure.
And we're here to help, and that's what we would welcome people's input into, what they think of the site. If they're having problems, we're here to help. It's not a faceless corporation.
Yeah.
There's someone behind each of those centres, and there's someone behind the site, and we do welcome. We will help anyone who wants help, and we welcome input from the users on the site as well.
It's fair to say that in the past there's been a bit of frustration with the old version of the Roots Ireland site, but you've kind of recently relaunched it and you've added new bells and whistles to it.
Yeah.
And it's a site that, I mean, in the past I used to be quite frustrated and I used to sort of say that, but now I actually sing about this site because it's a very user-friendly site now. It's undergone quite a bit of a revolution. Can you tell me about some of the ways that things have changed and how it's made it a bit easier now to get your research done?
Well, when we started off first, obviously, it was a new venture for us. A lot of our records actually predated computerization. They were computerized, and things have evolved a lot over 20 years. So going online for us was very much a leap into the unknown. The index search originally was a basic index search, so it was first name, surname, year. If you knew the county, if you knew the parish, you could put that in, and if you knew the father's first name. But that's very limiting, especially if the surname is very prevalent in an area.
William Smith.
So and then you had the issue of the two couples, or the couple which you couldn't put one surname in, you'd have to cross-check. So over time, working it out and getting everyone to agree degree, we now have what we call an advanced search. So you can search both parties to the marriage. You can search using the mother's name. You can leave out the child's name and just search using the parents, so you get the group of baptisms. And we also widened it out. I think we had just a 5-year either side, and now you can extend that out to 20 years if you want to. And I mean, some families did have children, over a 20-year period. It also helps people to catch, children across different counties if they have an RIC or a military ancestor, that they can find that as well.
And you've got discounts as well now for family groups.
We do, yeah. If you're buying a family group now, it's a sliding scale downwards. And we do hope to move to a credit system in the near future as well.
Right.
So we would see this site as very much always in development. And we're not standing still. And the more data we add, I suppose, the more we can look at how we can improve it.
Sure. But it's not just a record site now, because I've noticed you've got like a news sort of page on the site.
We do,
You're going a wee bit beyond what you were in the past. So how do you see the role of the society?
Well, we see the site as a kind of a portal site in a way that giving the ability of two people to check as many Irish records as they can. You can go on the site and not pay a penny. You can use it. You can use the index quite freely, and that can be very useful for pinpointing surnames in localities, particular times, and giving you an idea of what kind of baptismal marriage and census hits you're going to get for a particular name. So, it's useful like that as well. But as I say, the site is an evolving site, and it is going to improve over time. And I think the more data is added, the better it will be. In terms of promoting genealogy, that's our main aim, promoting genealogy in Ireland. And we would welcome, people, if there's things that people are doing or that are going on, we would love to publicise that and get involved in doing that, and making links with other groups. That's very important to us.
It's an interesting time in Ireland at the moment. Obviously the recession's really hit badly in the south, and it's hitting the north as well to a degree. And in some ways it's an obvious area of growth is genealogy. Things are changing in Ireland, aren't they? How do you see the whole area of genealogy in Ireland at the moment sort of changing and developing? It seems to have been quite revolutionary almost in the last couple of years. Things have really started to begin to happen. How would you sort of define what?
Well, I suppose we've gone from having very little available. You had to go to the location where the records were to have any hope of, and then you have time. How am I going to do 2 days in Ireland? How am I going to do all this? The census going online, our stuff going online. It does allow people to at least dip their toe in the water, familiarise themselves with the records. We have a long way to go in that we still have a lot of different groups. They're all doing different things, and it can be quite difficult for people to figure out, what they should be doing and where they should be going. So I think that's the next thing, is really to educate people about the Irish records and first of all, that there are lots of records.
Well, here we go. Right, 1922, all the records were burnt. And your response is no, they weren't.
No, they weren't. But there is a lot, and there is a myth out there, and it's taken hold that there's nothing. And it's to educate people about that and let them know that there's a lot they can do. And I think the other thing as well that people need to do is, before they come back to Ireland, they need to exhaust everything in the country that they're living in.
Absolutely.
So that when they do try but I think we're going to work now as an organisation with the other organisations to try and deliver a more, focused service. And I mean, we would always sort of hope that there would be more cooperation between the different groups. And that people would be assisted to go to wherever it is that they need to go in terms of Irish records.
Listen, I know it's now like the third day and it's the afternoon. I know you are on your last legs at the moment, but thank you very much for taking the time to tell us a bit more what's happening. And we'll see you next year, I'm sure.
I've already booked.
You've already booked. You see,
I've signed my name on the contract, so I can't.
So you are to look at this, and you will be the model client for next year. Karel, thanks very much indeed.
Okay.
Cheers.
No problem.